So everybody knows I've got a large jersey collection, and I have bought some Adidas jerseys. There's a video on this channel, it's almost a year old, that Will brought to my attention and said, hey, has your opinion changed on the Adidas? And so now's as good a time as any to discuss jerseys in full from when I started collecting in 1990 until now. The first one...
It could be like Vanna.
Yeah, basically. Is a CCM. These jerseys were $49.99 at the time. And it's all one piece. So there's no...
There's no piecing of the fabric.
No. It's all one piece. It's just sort of hemmed at the bottom. The logo... There's no...
It is applique on.
But it's just the one stitch. So with these ones, if that one stitch comes out at all, your hose, it'll start coming off.
Yes, because it's just a straight stitch.
And the logo itself doesn't feel
stiff,
as strong as the ones that would come later.
Well, it's not all stiff.
And not only that, but logos were a lot smaller back then. The logos on the jerseys were a lot smaller than what they were now. Which is kind of a weird thing. They don't talk about it very much. You go to NHL uniforms, they don't say, this is when the Hurricane logo showed up.
This is when it became difficult to wear a seatbelt with it.
But, yeah, this is much smaller, much more malleable. And you can tell how old this is because there's no anything on this tag. This tag is completely worn off. And on the back, the CCM is wearing out as well.
So it's paint. And how they embroidered stuff was so different.
And the shoulders.
Look at that craziness. That thing's scary looking. It looks like a tiger.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a tiger when I was a little kid, and then I noticed the brown in it, and then I heard that Bruins was tiny bears.
Tiny bit brown.
And see, the shoulder patches are just glued on.
Yeah.
And I found that out with an old jersey that I had given to me before I bought this one. This is the second jersey I ever bought. And yeah, it was a friend of my dad's gave me my first ever jersey, and the bears had actually come off, so all that was left was the glue that was left behind.
Oh, yeah, because that would leave that stain.
So there you go. There's the CCMs. That's the first one. Now, Starter comes into the picture, and of course, Starter was the rage of the 90s.
It looks super 90s.
And there's gaudy. There's so much gaudy with this. And they had Western Conference at the bottom. And Starter at the bottom as well. I thought that was a nice touch, to be honest. I didn't mind that at all. And then Phoenix Coyotes on the sleeves. And the logo's definitely better made. So when you're seeing a Starter online, there's more layers to it. It's nicely done. I don't remember if they're glued or... No, they're embroidered.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's actually applique on there.
And this still... These are still replicas. So this, I remember I got this one for, I want to say $40. There was a store that was closing out. You can't find jerseys at sporting goods stores like you used to. This, I believe they were at $69.99 at the time, and I got this one for $40. I had just done my tax return. I had a bunch of money, so I bought 5 jerseys that day, and I still have them.
The fabric's a whole lot thicker.
Yes, they are more substantial. More substantial than this,
yeah,
and really the different pieces of fabric as well. So, if you're looking at like an old CCM, I'll get into another CCM in a bit. I'm not leaving CCM behind. This is the originals, and this is the Starter that came out in the mid '90s, and they can't get much more '90s than that logo. That is the Cochina. Now. This is one that a subscriber sent to me that I decided to use as the example of Coho. A weird thing happens here. Coho technically is CCM. CCM owned Coho, so some of the jerseys are labeled as Coho and some of them are labeled as CCM. You have Coho label on the back. NHL is at the bottom. Focus. NHL is at the bottom. And again...
Has the wing sleeves.
There's...
How huge these sleeves are.
This... is a piece.
Leg in there.
Yeah.
The sleeves for Coho are so huge.
Yeah. These are bigger jerseys, and it's a better fabric. They're starting to get thicker. These were jerseys that guys were using that actually played hockey. So they're technically replicas, but I knew guys who played hockey. Part of The original of this jersey that I had was from a friend of mine that played hockey, and he was done with them, so he got rid of his jerseys, by which I took them. So I don't know, I got jerseys. I'm like, I'll take them. And I like this jersey, but again, you can kind of tell the early 2000s. You got the neon green here. Lot of stars.
Well, and it's
got the pieces of fabrics the same as starter, but not every stripe is its own piece of fabric, right, which eventually becomes a thing with jerseys. And a stretchy neck. So the stretchy neck, the rib knit that you have on this jersey, on the starter, is on Coho. And honestly, if Adidas could do that, I'd probably be a very happy camper. But we'll get to Adidas. Okay, now this one's Pro Player. I think Pro Player only made them for a year.
On the hanger at all.
So there you go. It's Pro Player. I got this one on eBay not that long ago.
There's the back.
Very, very similar to the starters. Again, you've got the Eastern Conference and the Pro Player. Some starters and some of the Pro Players that I've seen, they also have a miniature version of the team's main logo on the back, which is kind of fun. There's the shoulders, which are done kind of weird on this one because there's white in between the silver. You're not going to be able to see that on the camera, but there's white stripes in among the silver. It's really, to me, this was a lateral step. The difference between the Pro Player, the Coho, and the starter, it really isn't that dramatic. I don't remember people raising an uproar over who made the jerseys because really one followed the template from the other. You're not going to see a huge difference between them because it's still that rib knit.
Well, it's a bit different fabric though. Between them, like this one, the fabric is very different.
This one's thicker.
It's similar.
This one's thicker. The starter and the Pro Player are more similar. This one's definitely.
Well, this one doesn't have that stretchy knit to it. See,
no.
It doesn't stretch at all.
No.
Whereas this one has super stretch, and this one is really stretchy too.
Yeah, which is good because when you got big pec muscles like I do, you need to have that stretch.
It's stretchy to get over your pecs.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's the thing.
It's my pecs. That's what it is.
That's why they.
Okay, so back to CCM, and this is kind of the sad part of the tale. CCM has these Heroes of Hockey and classic jerseys, and this one is my Brad Park. I got this from Full Moon Jerseys, and it's kind of fantastic. Now, the difference between this and the other CCM is startling. Different pieces of fabric. It's not all one piece. The stripes, so you have a piece of fabric from yellow to yellow. Okay, so from here to here. And then the seams are done better. It's a better fabric than the knit they had going on for them years ago. There's some stretch to the neck, somewhat, but it's back to where they were with the 90s ones for this, because this is a throwback. So again, you've got the little Tiger Bear. I like this one better.
The logo is made way better. Well, this is just an update in sewing machines.
But it's much easier to tell.
Yes, but that's the sewing machines. If you look at any of the old logos, like the Canuck logo, your skate logo, and the old one.
Oh, the skate logo is terrible. The reason I don't have the skate logo for this video.
The computerized machines, how they're able to embroider it so.
Yeah.
Specifically, where the old machines didn't have such precision.
If you get a new CCM, you're getting a better jersey than the old ones. If you find it on eBay, you're probably going to find them for roughly the same price if they're used. If they're brand new, you probably be paying through the nose either way. I only get them for cheap because I'm getting them through sellers on eBay that are getting the ones that don't sell in the stores or whatever happens. Sometimes they have a flaw.
The logos are way thinner now.
The logos, yes.
They don't have all the backing layers, which the old ones, they kind of bubble and such. This one's not too bad. You can
this one's all stitching, but the Canucks one, like the Canucks.
This one you can see it.
My Pro Player Canucks with yes, and you can see there's bubbling here. The Orca bubbles badly.
Because there's layers. There actually is 3 layers behind it, and they don't shrink at the same rate.
So this one's a better jersey, and the logo is done much better. It's much more layered than the other CCM.
All right.
Now we're up to Fanatics. And I wanted to do Fanatics first. So I preached how great Fanatics are not that long ago. And I've seen the folly of my ways. And part of it is that there's a store here locally that has a bunch of jerseys. And they've ordered in a bunch of Fanatics for the playoffs because they're having trouble getting the Adidas. They have no problem getting the Fanatics, and there's a reason why. The logos
look like crap.
They're not as good.
They look awful. Well, some teams they look particularly.
And I got this Vegas, and I'm glad I got Vegas as the example. Here, hold on to that for a sec.
Yeah.
I'll get the regular Vegas out for this.
Okay.
It is.
But really, of jerseys, Vegas is one that doesn't look too horrid as the Fanatics. Some of the Fanatics just look horrendous.
But the difference...
Can you see? There we go. Okay, I don't know if they can really tell the difference on a...
Okay, well, the biggest difference is this is all one layer.
Well, the gold is the only different piece of fabric.
And on this one?
The rest, the black and the white and the gray, it's printed on there.
Yeah.
And it's shiny. So some of the teams, it's all like the Boston. That looks so bad.
Boston looks terrible. Do not get a Boston Fanatics. You're better off looking directly into the sun than buying a Boston Fanatics.
It's one piece of fabric, and then it's just printed on it.
It's awful. They only did the outline of the B.
Yes, it's embroidered.
And embroidered. That's it.
And so it looks terrible.
It's awful. I saw it today. I hadn't seen a Fanatics Bruins, and it's
terrible.
I'd been kind of on the fence, like, yeah, if you want to save $50, get a Fanatics. No.
It's terrible.
For the extra $50, yeah, the difference is remarkable. It's not just the NHL either. The shoulders.
The shoulders are really noticeable.
The shoulders. This is one piece.
Can they see that?
I don't know.
It's really okay. So it's one piece of fabric, and it's really shiny, and it's printed on there. It's this really shiny, and then this one, it's actually like a really nice patch, where it has the shiny.
The gold is awesome
thread.
on this,
yes.
and honestly,
it's really well stitched actually. And this is just printed, and it's shiny, and it's really noticeable.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you see them in person, the logos look so different.
So if you haven't seen a Fanatics in person, find a store that sells them.
Vegas isn't too bad.
Compared
to some teams, Vegas is not too bad.
And honestly, it's not. I wouldn't do it. I haven't seen a Chicago Blackhawks Fanatics, but I wouldn't do it. Okay, now we're going to compare these two side by side, and again, it may not show up on camera very well, but we'll describe the differences.
Right.
This is Dallas. This is the replica Dallas. This is the authentic Dallas.
Looking at the screen, they look exactly
Looking at the stream, they look the same, so we got to tell people the differences.
Okay. Well, a huge difference are the shoulders.
Yes.
So again, this is that, it's like plasticky. Yeah, it's a plasticky fabric, and it's printed on there, and it has this silver sparkly. A lot of the jerseys have this, so I'm assuming that a lot of you will know what we're talking about. This, let's see.
It's nice and 3D.
It's a nice embroidered patch.
Yeah.
The green and the white are all embroidered. It's on a black fabric, and the silver is actually embroidered with silver thread. So it's so much nicer.
And I didn't use Chicago because Chicago, it's well known that the Chicago Blackhawks have the chain stitch
different
on their authentics, and it's fantastic. I used Dallas because Dallas isn't a team people talk about with an authentic jersey being so much better than the replica.
The logo on this one is so much nicer. The other one uses that silver fabric that just shreds. I tried using on that one. On this one, it has a silver fabric. I tried using...
Yes, right here.
First, I tried using a lighter to seal the edges. And first time it got washed, it still started shredding. I've had to coat this in a whole layer of fabric glue. And now it doesn't shred. But this doesn't use the crappy metallic fabric. I hate that metallic fabric. It's all embroidered. It's really nicely stitched. And even around... all of this stitching, it's just stitched a lot nicer.
It's a big difference.
And it's not going to fall apart. That metallic fabric that they use on the jerseys just falls apart.
And last but not least, the thing de resistance.
This
is Chicago.
Thing of beauty.
And it is the chain stitching. There, the camera actually picks up the chain stitching. Look at that.
Does it?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's not fair to use this as an example, and yet, my opinion on Adidas is this. I still am not a fan of the neckline.
And I don't like this fabric at all.
This I'm not a fan of. I'm still not a fan of these shoulders with the fake holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do shine on camera. Look at that. Yeah, they do make it does make it look like they're not holes. And I'm not a huge fan of that. And I think there are things they can work on.
Yes.
But I do prefer the button at the bottom rather than everybody knowing what size you're wearing. Even though I wear a small or a medium, I still don't necessarily want people looking at it going, "Oh, you're small, huh?" It's just weird. I always thought that was strange having the size on the outside. And now I generally wear 50s because the one thing I will tell you is this. On the Adidas, the logos on a 46 is much smaller than a logo on a 50. The Reeboks, that doesn't happen. The Reeboks, I order 46s. For these ones, I order a 50. And I have got a lot of them. I do feel like these are nice jerseys. I'm still not a huge fan of the silver, but I understand why they did the silver NHL. It is because the counterfeiters can't do it. If you're on a counterfeit site, that's the first thing you look at.
Yep, they'll have the little
this
patch.
Doesn't work. Or they'll have a picture of a jersey that you can tell they didn't take a picture of themselves. So you got to be careful with that. And the fight strap is the weird part of this, only because they're not an athletic cut. Like, I think even with the stretch, if I was going out on ice wearing pads under this, I don't know that it would work. I don't know that I could still get the jersey on. So I would probably have to size up if I was actually going to go out and play hockey. I like that there's a vent, underarm vent, which I think Starter had that as well. No, I do have jerseys with that venting, but there's only, I think it was certain teams had the venting under the arms at one point. So I do like that. I do like how they're put together, all of the different pieces of fabric. Each stripe is its own piece of fabric. Yeah. At the bottom, each stripe is its own piece of fabric. At least the black is embroidered onto the white, and it pops. I cannot describe
shoulder patches.
I cannot describe how beautiful a Chicago Blackhawks jersey is
awesome
when it's an authentic, but the Adidas Authentic of Chicago is a magical wonder. And if you've had a Reebok, the logo is basically the same as on the Reeboks.
The Authentics, though.
The Authentics are basically the same. But my Reebok, here if you want to hold that.
Yep.
My Reebok is here. And my Reebok is not an Authentic. So where all of this is embroidered on the Authentic, here you can see it's shining because it's
huge. Huge logos.
Yes, but this is completely different. This is absolutely completely different.
I can see the...
You hold it on an angle.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There's the embroidery.
So it has
and
this
on this
cool
one,
texture to it.
It just all shines because it's just regular stitching.
Trying to see what I can see on the screen.
So again, if they use this neckline for the Adidas and they can get their silver fun in here, I have a giant head which tends to get partway stuck going through these jerseys. And people laugh, but it's kind of a pain in the backside when you know they can make jerseys that fit your head just fine, and they don't. So this jersey I'm keeping in my collection because technically it's not the same because it's a Reebok, that's an Adidas, and I like to have the difference. But the shoulder patches, there's no comparison. This is just...
Oh, no. It's that
This
same
is plastic.
plasticky...
This is a plastic sewed on, one-dimensional, and that's a thing of wonder embroidered onto the jersey. So there's the big difference. So for when
you can see it.
For when people say that,
really
you know,
cool.
I buy fakes because they're cheaper. Okay, I understand that, and I'm not going to say that another person's financial situation's any of my business, or that you have to buy a jersey of a certain amount, but I don't pay full price for jerseys for the most part. It's very rare that I do, and you do get what you pay for with jerseys.
Absolutely.
And I had wondered about the difference between the Authentics and the Fanatics, and then the Authentics and the replicas. And I always said, I can just wear a replica. I don't play hockey. These Adidas are nice. I do think that for the extra $50 over what the replicas of Reebok were, I don't know that I'm still happy with that price point.
I don't know that I've noticed these snagging at all either.
No, they don't.
That's huge.
They don't snag like the Reeboks. The Reeboks snag. Like you sneeze on them, they snag.
Oh, the kids' jerseys.
Yeah.
Adelaide's jerseys just covered in snags everywhere, and same with Gabriel's. He gets them.
And they're both Reeboks.
Adelaide's jersey's insane.
Yeah, they're both Reeboks. And they do the fabric on those jerseys snag a lot. But you'll see too, if you're looking up jerseys that are used online, you're going to see snags and pulls throughout, because old jerseys are kind of like that. The CCMs, the old CCMs, like my old Boston I showed at the start, they snag all the time. They pill all the time, and it's frustrating because I don't know how it happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, kind of a buyer beware type video. The differences between the kinds, and honestly, the Adidas, other than the weird neckline and other than the shoulders that are
weird fabric,
I'm not a huge fan of the shoulders, but Minnesota, they hit this design right out of the park. It's fantastic. I know she's not a fan of the red here.
It looks like, if you just look at this part right here, it looks like a pair of runners on his neck. It does. See, this is the tongue of the shoe. Here's the shoe laces. It looks like runners on his neck. The tie, it's even tacked down. It's so silly. Like the pretend ties and the ones
nothing
that
you can do with the ties. They're stuck there.
I know. That's why it's just pointless.
Yeah,
and then there's
that
ones
is
that
weird.
have the little strings. They're like 2 inches long. It just looks silly. I don't know why.
It's bizarre. I'm predicting
Minnesota especially, it looks like a pair of shoes.
I'm predicting that the strings will be gone altogether within a couple of years.
Which one is it that looks like a dead fish? There's one that looks like a dead fish.
Buffalo?
Is that it?
I think it's
It's
Buffalo.
one that has, it's on a darker jersey, like maybe a black jersey, and then it has white and white. So it looks like a dead fish.
I was thinking Buffalo, because I know Buffalo, it looks like...
And there's the ribs. I don't remember which jersey it is. Somebody will
mention it in the comments.
It looks like a dead fish.
Jerseys,
and now you won't unsee that.
Jerseys are fun to collect, and you'll keep them forever if you're a hockey fan. I'm very happy with my collection. I'm almost done my collection.
You said that when you got to 100.
I'm up to the casual part of my collection. I'm done with the part that I had to get. That's more of a casual thing.
I'm done actively looking for jerseys. Yeah, I heard it at 100. I heard it at 180. No, really, I'm done with my collection. My collection is complete. The only ones I want are really rare, and I'll never find them.
But in my defense,
that was 50 jerseys.
The CCM classics, like that Boston one I just showed you, Brad Park, CCM got sold off by Adidas. Adidas owns CCM. So, we don't know if CCM's still making NHL jerseys or not. They're making hockey jerseys, but we don't know if they're still making NHL jerseys. So the classics, no idea who's going to make classics from here on. If Adidas will try doing it, or if they'll farm it out to somebody else. The classics may go by the wayside. They may just expect people to buy alternates. Maybe alternates will be more throwbacks than alternates. We'll find out in the fall. But, so if you see the classics and you buy them and you kind of have your wife making you feel like, you probably shouldn't have, in the end you can say, hey, but look, we don't know if those are still going to be available a year from now, and I might feel bad a year from now, so you're helping me now so I won't feel bad next year. So I'm kind of going into the future.
Right.
That's kind of how that works.
That's not going into the future.
Sure it is. And from the future, I'm telling you that King's jersey is beautiful. Whether it's the Burger King or the throwback with the Gretzky era logo, or the coat of arms, which is amazing. I like the coat of
arms. That would be awesome.
For
them to redo.
It'd be even better if I cheered for the Kings.
It would. But if they redo the coat of arms, that would be fantastic.
See, and if they do a throwback with that in the Adidas style,
in purple,
with this kind of an embroidery system, it would be amazing.
It would. It would look very nice.
Yep. So Kings, if you're watching, there you go. Just make your logo make your jersey purple. put that coat of arms.
Nice and purple.
Or
it's not like there's another purple
that crown.
team.
That crown.
The crown would be cool too.
That'd be fantastic. But there you go. The different makes of jerseys, samples of each. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through and you happen to be a jersey collector like myself. If there are jersey collectors like myself. Anyways,
other crazy people.
If you're insane, welcome to the channel. And I will talk to you again soon.